Hey everyone, welcome to my live stream on this April 30th, 2021, which is a big birthday for me. So I invite y'all to celebrate with me. And I get to do my favorite things on my birthday. And I just thought about what should I do today, So I love doing these live streams. I love sitting on the base with people who are looking to learn. So that's what I'm gonna do. And you are welcome to celebrate with me. Can I get a quick thumbs up that Facebook is working and YouTube is working? Okay, thank you. I see already a couple coming in. Okay, thank you so much. So as you see, I'm still in the middle of moving. Those are just some of the boxes. Sound and audio is gonna be a little bit limited today, but hopefully we can, talk about music, life, and what have you. So again, as I said, it's a big birthday for me today, and I have so much to be grateful for. So here's my little speech. First of all, I'm in good health. The most important people in my life are as well, and I am just incredibly grateful for that. And if I make a wish, then my wish is that everybody has their health and gets to do what they truly love, because that is an amazing privilege to be able to do that. And yeah, if I get to make a wish, that's my wish today. And all day I've been getting awesome videos and wishes, and the phone's been ringing off the hook, and just really sweet messages that have just really moved me and touched me deeply. So thank you all very, very much. I'll try to say thank you to everybody personally. It'll take me a little while, but I'm just super touched also by lots of bass players who I admire and musicians who I love and I'm so inspired by. They have left me messages, and my students and my coaches, and just been lots of love coming my way. So I just really want to thank you and let you know how much that means. As always, I'm doing my live stream completely unscripted, and I thought, because this is my ear training live stream, right? So if this is the first time you're catching this, I do Fearless Ears Fridays, where I want to talk about the emotional component of music, where I want to talk about why sometimes these apps that we dutifully do on the phones, might not really translate into the stage situation where somebody starts playing, we're trying to picking up the chords, right? Why is that? I love those apps, by the way, specifically the ones that work with functional ear training. So nothing against them, but there's sometimes a little bit of a lack between theory and practice. And when we're just sitting there and doing the exercises on the phone, they might not translate into the stage. And I like looking at why that is. I did that in my ear training course, and I love doing that in my live streams. So my goal is every time to give you a little bit of practice, a little bit of, ideas about how I think about the emotional content of sounds. And I just love talking how this all relates to the bass, to the fretboard, and how it can help us get tunes off the recording. And I'm a big believer that when you are learning ear training, one of the best ways to learn ear training, improve your ears, is to do something creatively with the sounds, so to improvise and use just little snippets and put them together. And so my goal with these live streams is to just give you some ideas on how I like to look at things. So I'm seeing all these nice birthday wishes there in the chat. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh my gosh, seeing some Bay Area friends here, some German friends here. Misha's here, Gwen, Navita. Oh my gosh, thanks y'all. Al, the UK is checking in. See some German speakers. Laura, thank you so much, everyone. That's real sweet. So because it's my birthday, here's an exercise that I love doing with my students. I kid you not. And it's always, there's Debbie. This is always usually a big surprise. So when I first say it, they all go, of course I can do that. But then when we get into it, oftentimes I have people go, that's kind of surprisingly difficult, but it's a wonderful ear training exercise. Namely, and because it's my birthday, it's to play a melody of a well-known song on the bass. And Happy Birthday is a very well-known song. So there you go. Of course, as always, I have to be very careful with the algorithm. This is a copyrighted song. So what I thought I'll do is I'll do just little snippets and then talk, and then a little snippet, and then talk. Maybe that way I can cheat the algorithm. That's my goal. So, but I'd invite you, as always, to grab your bass. And first of all, if I do, I like, before you even start, we often just go and start playing. But before you even start, lock yourself into the key. I'm going to lock you into the key. Okay, so I'm now in the key of C, simple key. Now, what I want you to do is think about the different scale degrees, because as you know, if you've watched my live stream before, done any of my ear training courses or classes, then you know that I'm very big on saying scale degrees, because while you practice scales, or 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, things of that nature, because every sound to me is every number to me is a sound. So when I say 1, and I've just played that, there we go. There's my C, right? So that's my 1. And then if I say 3, then I know 1, 2, 3, it's going to be here, right? So I can hear it inside. So when I say the number 3, I'm hearing that. Okay, that's the goal. That's why I say the numbers. Okay, so now that we are in the key of C, which is the first note the song starts on? And more often than not, and there's always this delay. So if you know, what's the first scale degree the song Happy Birthday starts on? And you can pop that in the chat, and I'm going to keep yabbering and not wait because the delay is so long. But, well, as you think scale degrees, Walter, think scale degrees. We are in the key of C, and what you just said, okay, a lot of people are saying C or number 1, and that's not it. If I start on number, yep, Jim's got it, 5, it starts on the 5. It doesn't start on the 1. Listen, if I started on the, I gotta be so careful with this algorithm, but right, you will end up in the key of F. So it does not start on the 1. It starts, in fact, on the 5, as many of you have said, right? And the first chord the bass player is often playing is the 1 chord, because right when I start here, and then we often play the 1 chord. Now, oftentimes, somebody starts singing Happy Birthday to the, and then you come in, then it's a 5 chord as well. So the melody of Happy Birthday starts not on the 1, but it starts on the 5. So it's often tricky when somebody, Happy Birthday in the key of C. I always add, first melody note G, right? Because that is really clear. We're not starting on the 1, we're starting on the 5. So the 5 is the first note of the melody. Then what's the next note? If you think about it, we're in the scale, and I'm starting here. What numbers are those? 5, 5. So I'll tell you, it's 5, 5, 6, 5. And then comes 4, 3. 5, 5, 6, 5, 2, 1. Right? Yeah, a lot of you guys have it. Gabby goes A. Yep, that's correct. So 5, 5, 6, 5, 1, 7. 5, 5, 6, 5, 1, 2, and then it goes 5, 5, 5, 3, 1. So terrified of the algorithm. 5, 5, 5, 3, 1, 7, 6. Big for Modal. And then it goes 4, 4, 3, 1, 2, 1. Right? So it's an interesting challenge. I invite you to do this with all sorts of songs that grab your instrument and just try to figure out the melody. It's often surprisingly difficult. And then when you have it, what you do is you play it in different modes, right? That's also really, really good exercise. For example, let's say somebody doesn't have such a happy birthday and has a birthday in minor. Never done that. Let's see what that place sounds like. So now I'm going to play the C minor scale. And now it would be I don't have to be careful of the algorithm when I do it in minor. that's a minor birthday. Not so happy, right? If it's a Irish birthday, you can make it Dorian, right? So you could go, then all that would change would be the A flat would turn into an A, right? So you would go through, you could go through all the modes like that. One song that I love doing that with, by the way, is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. First of all, because it's a rainbow of colors and the different modes are a rainbow of colors. And also because you can really hear it when you go from the brightest note, which is Lydian, to the darkest note, which is Locrian. So you can go through the entire gamut from those different sounds, you know, when you always relate it to the root. There's so much to learn about how you relate it all to the root, right? Because when you hear a song, right? Happy Birthday in minor. You really get a sense of that minor scale. And, you know, again, then you do it in Dorian, then you do it in Phrygian, you know. So you can do, you can really explore those sounds in a very, very useful way. Much better, in my view, than when you go C Ionian, D Dorian, where I'm still hearing C, right? And even though I just played D Dorian, I'm still hearing that C so loudly in my mind that I cannot hear the sound of Dorian. How can I hear the sound of Dorian if I use the same root? C Ionian, C Dorian, you know, like that. So I've done that many times in this live stream. So, but today I'm giving you this additional idea to just take one of these songs, figure out the numbers, you know, write them down if you want to. And then every time when you are changing it to minor, okay, here's a question. If I play a song in major, all my intervals, except for the fourth and the fifth and the octave, obviously, because they are not major or minor, always just perfect. So all the intervals are major, right? In the major scale, all the intervals are major. The ones that can be, all the other ones are perfect because there's no major fourth, right? So if you know that and you just make that blanket simplified statement, in a major scale, all intervals are major, you're going to be correct because the second is major, the third is major, the sixth is major, and the seventh is major. Okay, now if I do the same thing, let's say with minor, like an Aeolian minor, then you have now the third being minor, the second still being major, and the sixth being minor, and the seventh being minor. So all except for the two are minor, right? If you make all of them minor, then you get Phrygian, right? When you have Phrygian and make the fifth diminish, then you get Locrian. So you can think of every one of these sounds of the modes in that context. And so you write down your happy birthday 5 5 6 5 1 7 5 5 6 5 2 1 5 5 5 3 1 7 6 4 4 3 1 2 1. You write down all these numbers, and then you go, okay, now I'm going to do it in minor. That means when I see 3, it's minor. When I see 2, it's still major. When I see 4 and 5, they're always perfect. When I see 6, it's minor. When I see 7, it's minor, right? That's too much of a stretch. Just write it down. Okay, 1 2 flat 3 4 5 flat 6 flat 7 and 8. So that would be, for example, a really good way to go through it. And I love that exercise. I absolutely love that exercise. All right, checking in with everybody. If you have any questions, please pop them in the chat. But this is one way how I love thinking about ear training. You know, taking melodies and then playing them in different modes. It's a very, very powerful way to get the sounds down. And while I'm at the topic of ear training, I have an ear training practice group starting. It starts in 2 weeks. And what we essentially do, so my practice groups, I missed my practice groups so much today because they just finished last week. And I thought, I'm going to take my birthday off. And now here I am. Like, I miss doing that because I love it so much. We have a lot of fun. It's between 8 and 22 people all on Zoom. And we meet together and just practice together. I have a program. I have assignments ready. Everybody knows exactly what to practice. We record it, so if you missed it or want to go over it again, people do that all the time. They rewatch. We give you timestamps. So it's very organized, and we have one starting for ear training. So if you want to go deeper and don't just want to get little nuggets here and there on a Friday, but you want to do it step by step, you're very welcome to join us. It starts in May very soon, rspaceblock.com/practice, and there pick the E group, the ear training group. So we have lots of different groups starting, and that is what I'm really looking forward to, because we're gonna just do a lot of ear training, practicing emotional aspect of sounds. We'll do a lot with numbers. We'll use it a lot. We'll do modes. We'll do chord progressions, and in the environment of the course, we can really take a track and try to get the bass off it. We can talk about rhythm. We can talk about rhythmic perception changes, the pitch perception slightly, why it's sometimes, when you figure out a really complex bass line and then you write it down, you figure it out, you go, that's all? It sounded like so much more, right? Has to do with where the repeated notes often fall, where the accents fall. All of that influences how we hear it. And if you just take that step by step and just practice it a bunch, then your ears turn into golden ears. All right, let's see. What else am I gonna do? I talked about happy birthday. We talked about using a song to play it in different modes. All right, I just like quizzing you guys. And one thing I always like doing, now I have my loop back not on. I didn't want to deal with sound stuff today. That was my birthday wish to me, that I just don't want to look into the setup. But let me just pull up a track here, because I want to, oh yeah, that's a good one. How about this one? 7 augmented. All right. Here is a sound that we typically don't hear like or practice separately or whatnot. It's a bit exotic sounding. Please just give me feedback if you all can hear this because of my setup here today. Can you all hear that? If you saw my live stream last week, I didn't even have chairs. I was sitting on the floor. Because we just moved. Oh, by the way, you know what the coolest thing is when you move and it's your birthday? You get all these boxes to open. So it's really cool. You're like, gifts, boxes, yay. Kitchen stuff, bathroom stuff, clothes. So yeah, we are in the thick of it. We're in the middle of it. And also, still waiting for your answer. Let me know if you heard that sound, please. Can you hear this? You're supposed to hear a track right now. Can you hear that? I lost some destinations. What's going on? Oh yeah, by the way, I've got my Facebook group in here today. You heard it. Okay, thank you very much, Walter. I love you. YouTube, if you're on there, somebody can let me know if you can hear it on YouTube. That would be loud and clear. Okay, thank you. Perfect. So what I was gonna say, moving when it's a big birthday is a really good idea. And then you have all these gifts to open. Okay, so what I wanted to do is, so you heard that track, right? And what you can say about this track, oh my gosh, I love seeing all the names in the chat. Hey, Thomas. So Duzu is in the house, my favorite teaching platform. If you guys don't know Duzu, duzu.com, OOZOO. Please pop that in the chat, Thomas. So the sound that I want to introduce to you today. So that is, I talk about the emotional component of sounds a lot. And this is how would you describe this sound? Let me just play it for you again. Quirky. It's a bit like kind of open, right? There's a comical element in it maybe, but there's also like a slight tension. It doesn't really resolve. It doesn't really sit still. Do you hear that? It's a bit, it's like a bit jagged. So there's something going on. I'm going to play a scale over it. And this is a really fun scale to use because, hey, Vallejo is in the house. Hey, Vallejo. Hi, Shauna. Great to see you here. Fusion-esque, says Roberto. Yes, that's definitely a sound that is used in fusion a lot. So this is not like your sound that you would hear like in a folk song, right? Sure, there is one that has that chord in it, but out of context, sometimes you put things into context and it mildens the effect. But this one is, I'll tell you what the clue is. It's got a sharp 5 in it. It's an augmented 7 chord. So And I'm going to show you a scale over it. So grab your bass if you have it. And play the first 3 notes, A, B, C sharp, and then keep repeating that pattern. This is a magic scale. This is the whole tone scale. This is a scale that has only 6 notes before I'm back around. So essentially, the best way to finger it, or one good way to finger it, is to just go 1, 2, 3 on one string, and then scoot up 1, 2, 3 on the next string. There's a bunch of fingerings you can use. You can also do this. If you get my new book, which by the way is in pre-sale for only 2 more days, so we are really coming down to the wire, and we sold out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I can't pop it in the chat. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this. My new book was in a pre-sale campaign. The campaign goes for 2 more days, and we are sold out. So watch me last night finding a printer who can do it in 7 days, and I did. So we will be able to fulfill even if we go over 1,000 books. So we're just, that's a huge birthday gift that this book has already taken off like that. So that is at this. If you're interested to find out what that's about, that's right there. So yeah, there in my new book, I was going to say there is a fingering I describe and call the crab. And that is whenever you have to shift position, you can do this. So essentially, I go 1, 4. Typically, not always, but in most situations, 1 finger per fret. So I don't have to think, I don't have to look. I just know where my fingers are, feel them in context and all that. But if I want to make a shift, a really good idea to achieve that shift is to make my hand smaller than 1 finger per fret. Now it's only 3, right? 3 frets, 1, 2, 3. So I make it smaller, and then I stretch it. And just by stretching it, I'm moving up. So this is another way how I can play the whole tone scale. Right? And you see, I play 3 notes. That's half of the scale, and that's the other half of the scale, right? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then if I keep going on, I'm back around, so to speak. But I can also do that on 1 string, and then make my way up like that, So that's a really good way to find your whole tone scale. Now, what I recommend you do is you take a fretboard. You can get fretboard paper on my website, arispaceblock.com. There's a resources tab, and there you can download free fretboard paper. Now, you take all the notes that are inside the whole tone scale, and you mark them out. And that makes for amazing patterns on the fretboard. Like, for example, you can, imagine you making essentially on every single string a dot for a note every other fret. So it turns out to be this like really symmetric pattern where, for example, all of these notes are in it. It's the nature of a symmetric scale that whatever lick you find, you can move by the interval the scale is symmetric in. The scale is symmetric in a whole step. So I can move everything I find that's cool. Like, for example, this is the shape that's in here. It's like the number 5 on a dice, right? Or you want to look at it here, might be easier to see. See, it's like the number 5. That's just the shape that I found inside of this beautiful pattern, that I get dot, 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 and then here, dot, 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 dot. So it's super symmetric. And you find any of these shapes, and then you riff on it by just moving it up and down the fretboard. And it is so cool to do that because it's easy, you find the shape like this number 5, and you just move it, and then it's 5 notes, so there's rhythmic stuff you can do, move the beat or whatever, and it sounds super hip, so it sticks out a little bit. You might want to not play it in certain styles, but if you're looking for a fresh sound, it sounds really cool. You can play this over a 7th chord. Even if it's not an augmented chord, you can get away with it, if you resolve it right. The 7th chord is always tension, 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 tension. So if you resolve it right, then you can get away with using that scale. But you can move whatever you find by the interval this scale is symmetric in, or there are multiples. So I just moved this lick by a whole step, but you can also move it by multiples. So that would then be a major third, right? And then it would also be, if no, that wasn't right. It would be a major second, a major third, or an augmented fifth. Those are the three intervals that you can move it in, and so that is, super fun to do. Wait, there's another one. Augmented fifth and diminished fifth, or a sharp four, or whatever you want to call it. So it is a fun scale to just improvise and groove over. And if you just want so you can have all sorts of fun with just these shapes, You can find that there are, this is in there, for example. You can move that up and down, or down and up, You can, use this. That's like 3 of those, and then you start it over from here, and then you have a shape that has 6 beats in it. Just moving it, right? Moving it by a whole step. And I just like exercises like that because, first of all, you get that scale into your ear, the sound of the augmented 7, right? It's the 7th chord, not with the 5th, but with an augmented 5th, and then we also stick the sharp 11 in there, right? So for a really bright, kind of aggressive sound. Yeah, so we talked about that. We talked about picking up your bass and just playing a song, and then changing that into different modes. So these are all really helpful exercises, I believe, for ear training. Let me catch up on the comments here. St. Augustine in Hell. I love that song, Evita. That's a Sting song, and it's in 7. I don't, does it do that? It could be. Yeah, I love that song. Good one. Great example. I'm getting, hey, cool. David Pistorius is here, my Marlowe bass brother. Awesome. Thanks so much. Chris from the UK. Oh my gosh. Love seeing all your names here, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. So I think I will, with that, I'll leave it there and open some gifts. And yeah, again, I'm so excited to be doing what I'm doing. I'm grateful beyond words for my health, for the people in my life, for people who are supporting what I do, who love and appreciate what I do, and let me know this in such nice ways. And I'm here in a new town, new start, fresh start. My 2nd book is coming out. It's already sold out in the pre-sale. And we are just beyond grateful how everything is going and developing. And I work super, super hard. My wish, or my how do you say, Vorsatz? Evita, what's that? Vorsatz. My, you do it at New Year's. Prediction, no. Golly. We did party last night, I have to admit. Vorsatz, what is it? What you want to do, what you say, what you commit to, right? Is to look after my health a little more, because I do work very, very hard. So I'm trying to not pull the late nighters and all that. But I am just really grateful how everything is going. And if you're in Nashville, want to go to see a show at Rudy's or something, please hit me up. I'm grateful for connecting in the new town. And yeah, thank you all for celebrating with me and for playing Happy Birthday. And Facebook didn't catch it. Yes. A resolution. Thank you. Gosh, yeah, my resolution for my next year is to sleep a little more. All right, everybody, have a fantastic day. Thank you for celebrating with me. Thank you for being part of my community and tribe, and really appreciate everybody who chimed in and sent birthday wishes and videos and notes. And Yes, thank you. Okay, everybody, cheers.